How to know if you are awake or conscious. You might ask yourself sometimes, how do I know if I'm really awake or if I'm really conscious? I'll give you some examples and ideas so you can know if you are truly awake or conscious. First off, there are many levels to being conscious. There isn't just there's a real conscious that no one really on this planet has achieved, and that's being conscious with the entire universe, the world, the universe, everything. You're connected, you're one with everything. That's complete consciousness. Some might call that nirvana, some might call that heaven, some might call it a different dimension, whatever you want to call that. That's being full conscious. So there are, you can be conscious to some things, but you can be awake and not be conscious. But if you're conscious, you can be conscious and awake, but you can be awake and not be conscious in some cases. So you might ask yourself, how do I know if I'm conscious? Well, first of all, if you're awake, you might be awake to certain things. You might know certain things are wrong, that you were misled as a child growing up, that your parents didn't give you the correct information because they didn't have the right guidance growing up. They were lied to, so they passed the lies down to you. Going to school, you might be aware or awoke to the fact that you went to school and everything that you learned was a lie or useless, and what really matters in this life. So things like that, you can be awake to certain things like that, but being conscious is a totally different thing. So how to know if you're conscious? I'll give you an example. I don't eat meat. I've been what most of you would consider vegan for about over a year now. Been a year and 1 month. This month, I started last month. I didn't. I didn't slowly become change my eating ways. I didn't like say I want to start eating better, so I'm gonna slowly get off of this diet. I went to sleep. I'm 26 years old. I went to sleep one night and I woke up the next morning and a consciousness came into me, and I realized I did not want to eat meat products anymore. I did not want to do the dairy or anything. So that's a different, that's that most people, they have to start slowly. Some people, but going cold like that, it just doesn't happen like that. And I really wouldn't recommend the average person that's trying to change their eating habits to start like that. But if you can, hats off for you. But that's how I did. But I didn't. I've been eating that way my whole life. And when I woke up, I had some meat the night before. Woke up the next morning, and I was literally done just like that. So you can be awoke and be vegan, or you don't eat meat. You're trying to eat healthy, but for whatever you might not like the torture or the things the animals go through, or you want to just eat healthier and feel better. So there's a difference of that. That's considered being awoke. But are you conscious? Are you a conscious eater? Are you really conscious of the things you put in your body? Like me, I everything I excuse me, everything I eat, I research the food. I go to the grocery store. If I go to the corner store, a grocery store, anywhere I go, could be like a Shell's gas station, wherever. I do not buy anything without reading the ingredients, meaning I can have 50 to 100 items in my basket. I read over every ingredients, everything. If you see that in my basket, I read the ingredients, and just everything that's on that ingredients. I try to know the best I can about what I'm putting in my body. That's a conscious eater. So that's not me just being awoke saying I want to not eat meat, I want to eat healthy. I'm being conscious onto what's actually going into my body. Because I know some people that that's trying to go vegan, and they've been, 6 months, 8 months, a year into the game, and they still eat products that have meat in them. Like a lot of candies that you could find at the corner at the gas station has gelatin, or something like that. Or a lot of candy has milk in it. Yeah, a lot of most candies you find at the chips and candies have either milk, egg, or some form base of animal products. So most people that say, "Oh, I don't eat meat today," but they do. A lot of stuff you eat, you don't even realize what you putting in your body because you don't care to read what's on the back of the ingredients. So you know, um, a lot of people, like a lot of individuals, say, I'm eating healthy. I'm making my kids are eating healthy, so they're awoke to that, but they're not conscious that the foods they're giving their kids, like most candies that you could find anywhere, most cereals, almost anything that you can buy for a child, even for yourself, has these dyes in them, these poisonous dyes, like the reds, the blues, the yellows, and stuff like that. The ones that are conscious to that know what I'm talking about. But you're not realizing, you're not conscious to the fact that those dyes have um, cancerous ingredients, or those dyes causes ADHD and hypertension, all kind of stuff in kids. So now you're giving your kids some cereal that has that, and then you give them some candy, a snack, and then you giving them food, lunch and food, and it all has these ingredients that's poisoning your kids. So about the time they're 2 or 3, 4 years old, now they got ADHD, and you don't even know why. So now you sitting in the doctor office. The doctor knows why he's prescribing them ADHD pills. So now not only did you give the money to the grocery stores, you gave them to pharmacists. The FAD, food and drug, goes hand in hand. See how that work? So now your kid is all messed up with ADHD because of the stuff you gave them, not even realizing. Read the labels. But anyway, things like that, like when you're conscious, you're just conscious to a lot of things. You're conscious to about what you put in your body. You're conscious to about how you look at individuals. How, do you what do you say? Like if someone cuts you off while you're driving, are you angry? Are you flipping them off? Are you cursing? Are you chasing them down? Things like that. A conscious individual is not going to do things like that because there are repercussions. Every action has a reaction, cause and effect. Sometimes the universe could put you through those tests and have that another individual swerve in front of you, and now you're upset, and the universe is like, no, you're not ready. You're not ready to move on. Things like that. So are you conscious to what you post on social media? Me, I haven't had a social media um, since November, December. So it's like 4 or 5 months. I've been social media free. I made an Instagram only for the reasons of these videos. I didn't make an Instagram to be social. I made them to spread positivity. I didn't, but I've literally been off of social media, Facebook, Instagram, everything for about 4 to 5 months now. And that's a different that's a level of consciousness just there, because I'm conscious about how social media works. I know social media is built around bad energy and negativity. Even if you have a social media, are you conscious to what you're saying on there? Are you conscious to what you're posting? Are you could be something like you're posting food and saying, oh, I'm glad I got the money to buy this good food, and then there might be somebody hungry on there that can't eat that food or something like that, and now you just put a negative perception in that person, and that falls back on you for however they take that energy and run with that. But you have to be conscious of thinking things like that. Like, are you posting videos, sexual videos? You're talking explicit. There's kids on there. Are you talking about taking drugs, doing alcohol? Your daughter or your son or your daughter, they can be 8, 9, 10 years old, and they can make accounts, fake accounts, and go on your social media without you knowing. So they could also be seeing everything you're putting on there. And everything you say and do to an individual, it has a negative or positive action and consequence based off what you said. You can be on Facebook and you could say, you could be asking who has the pills, who got the Percocets, or I just popped another Percocet, I'm feeling good. So what if a kid or what if some individuals see that and they say, well, this person do it and they kind of popular on Facebook, so I want to try it. So now if they go try it, that addiction is on you. But you don't even realize that's what's going on. That's how consciousness works. So you have to be careful of the things you say, the things you do. Because if you have an impact on individuals like that, you will be held accountable. So are you saving lives or are you destroying them? So it's a difference. If you're consciousness, you don't even have to ask yourself. You just know. But yeah, just really start thinking about what you do, what you say. Don't be so fast to anger. Um, TV is garbage. I mean, I still watch a couple shows, but I spend a lot of my time just learning more information. Are you still watching the drama shows, the hip hops and basketballs wives in Atlanta? Well, whatever. I ain't even trying to say names like that, but y'all know what I'm talking about. I mean, if you watching those shows, tuning in every week to keep up with that negative drama, that fighting, cussing and yelling and whatever, then you're not conscious. Sorry to tell you. You know you're not. It's You have to really know what's going on and know what I'm talking about. I don't want to be involved with anyone that's pushing those agendas. Like I haven't drank alcohol in a couple months. I'm trying to get off of that. You know, just a lot of things. Like I'm doing the best I can to not put any poisons in my body. Unfortunately, I know what a lot of how this stuff works. So I'm doing the best I can. But are you doing the best you can? So ask yourself, do you still do certain things? Do you go out to the club every night, every week? You know, I mean, the evil come out at nighttime. You know how that go. But I get with y'all, man.